I'm Martin Nadler, member of the Sunderland Select Board, and this is Alex Bresnick, also a member of the Sunderland Select Board, and we're here to provide you with some information about the use of Sunderland's ARPA funds. That's the American Rescue Plan Act fund that was allocated to Sunderland in 2021. Alex?
Yeah, so the purpose of the funds was to help a lot of municipalities deal with expenses that were related to the pandemic, among other purposes. In the beginning, it had a lot of restrictions about how the funds could be used. However, those have gradually been rolled back over time. We've had a number of attempts to come up with sort of a mandate from the public about what to do with the meetings, about what to do with the funds. We've had a couple of select board public meetings. More recently, you chaired a committee to try to decide what to do with the funds. What was your primary goal in chairing that committee? Well,
the Citizens Committee that the Select Board created had as its mission and primary goal to look at the ideas that were suggested to the Select Board up until the point of the creation of the committee, to garner new ideas and to evaluate them and to make some recommendations to the Select Board as to which ideas we think that the Select Board should consider that were worthy of consideration.
And it seemed like most of the recommendations ended up being on the list.
Absolutely. There were, in fact, there were only a very small handful of recommendations that were not put forward, and most of those that were not put forward were just not practical for Sunderland. Hopefully, that what the Select Board would be able to do now is to analyze these recommendations with the information that's being provided by the survey that's being distributed, and come up with some decisions about what ideas they feel are worth merit. And also, with the creation of this special fund, we would be able to have money in reserve to support any ideas and suggestions that are brought forward in the future that would also benefit Sunderland and could be provided without creating another tax burden. What we hoped to do was to create a ballot initiative for the community to provide the opportunity to move the money into a different fund to give us more time. Alex, could you spend some time explaining what that ballot initiative is?
Yeah, so the Vermont League of Cities and Towns came up with a twofold possibility. It's a twofold plan. So the first part relies on the Select Board coming up with a resolution that introduces these ARPA funds, in this case up to $265,000, into a combination of the town general fund budget and the highway budget, introduced specifically to offset payroll expenses. So this was one of the approved uses of the funds. So the intention here is to create a surplus, and at that point we come in with the second part of the plan, which is article number 6 at our town meeting, which specifically allocates these surpluses for the purpose of creating a special projects reserve fund. At that point, the ARPA money has effectively, as far as the federal program goes, been spent. It's been allocated to offset these payroll expenses, and so at that point, the clock is off. We have all the time that we need to come up with the rest, as long as the people approve the creation of these special project funds.
Okay, thank you. So the goal of this special project fund is really threefold. One is to move the money into a fund that the town can access in a singular way to spend money on items that we need or that we desire as a town without increasing the tax burden. It also relieves us of the responsibility of spending all of that money or allocating all of that money prior to December 31st of this year, which is the federal stipulation in the ARPA Act.
Yeah. I mean, the timeline was certainly a big part of what motivated the select board to adopt this resolution and put the Article 6 on the town meeting, was because, we had those rules in place about when the funds had to be allocated and then when they had to be spent by. And certainly, we spent the past 2 years holding these meetings trying to come up with an idea of what the people of Sunderland actually want the money spent on.
Right.
And it's, it seems like the only thing that people can agree on is that the people should decide.
Right. And tomorrow is March 1st, and the deadline under federal guidelines is that all of the money has to be obligated by December 31st, which really puts a restrictive timeline on decisions to spend what for Sunderland is a significant amount of money. Some of the ideas that have been generated and some of the ideas that this Citizens Committee has recommended to the Select Board would be spending money to provide shelter for the town's heavy equipment. We have heavy equipment that's sitting outside that's worth probably $500,000, and it's exposed to the elements summer and winter. And by providing cover for it, we're going to increase its lifespan, increase its usability, and that helps the fiscal efficiency for the town.
Yeah. What were the categories that had been decided on for the survey?
Okay, it was improved town infrastructure, improved fiscal efficiency,
And it was quality of life.
quality
right?
of life,
Yeah.
enhanced health and safety, and enhanced historical and cultural features. There were 5 criteria that a variety of different ideas might fall into. And the survey doesn't ask the community members to decide whether or not they want to improve, whether or not they want to approve spending the money on any particular item, but rather which of those criteria do we feel is the most important for spending the money, which do we feel is very important, which do we feel is somewhat important, which we feel is not so important, so that the select board has a guide as to what the community's ideas are in terms of how they feel the money should be spent in what categories.
And how did we end up distributing that survey for people to do?
The survey is available at the town office. Whoever goes into the town office could be handed a copy of the survey. They can complete it right there. It's very simple, and hand it back to the town clerk or assistant town clerk, who will then collect it for us. The Citizens Committee will then gather the surveys after April 1st, and the reason we picked April 1st was it gives the
End of the fiscal?
It's not not so much the end of the fiscal year, but the majority of people will be coming through town hall on March 5th for voting, and also up until April 1st when all dog licenses have to be written.
That gets everybody in.
So most people will be coming through at that time.
Yeah.
And so we'll probably get the greatest amount of response.
Yeah. And we're putting it out at the town meeting on Monday too,
Correct.
right?
Yes, it's going to be available at town meeting for people to complete and submit. It's an anonymous survey, so people can answer any way they feel is most appropriate. And the advantage of supporting the ballot initiative to create this reserve fund is that it provides us the opportunity to spend the money at our convenience, and we don't have to spend it prior to December 31st. So that if ideas are generated in 2025 or 2026, that money will be available until the town decides to exhaust the fund on items that the town considers to be beneficial for its use. And it could fall into any one of those categories. It could be improved infrastructure. It could be health and safety. For example, one of the ideas that are on the list for consideration is providing money to the Arlington Volunteer Fire Department to provide 2 standpipes at our 2 bridges so that they can access river water to put out fires in our community. So, that's a health and safety issue, and it's also an an infrastructure issue. So the money is recommended for ideas like that, like building an addition to the town shed or another building to protect our heavy equipment, and it goes to something as simple as funding town signs, the Sunderland welcome signs, and a bulletin board for the front of the property and town office, so people can easily see when the next meetings are, or read public bulletins that are posted under glass so that they're protected from the elements. So there are a variety of suggested ideas, and still plenty of money left open for new ideas.
Some of my favorite ideas were the ones that really felt like they were in the vein of improving population participation in such as specifically in ways that make sense with the pandemic, like the hybrid meeting equipment that we already bought,
right,
or that we already allocated funds for, or the like these bulletin boards, the glass case ones.
Yep. That one would be at town hall, one would be at the transfer station, and one would be at Sunderland Elementary School, which are available. The greatest value of these ARPA funds is that this is just a singular opportunity for the town to be able to do what it needs to do and what it wants to do without increasing the tax burden.
Yeah.
And doing things for the benefit of the town without at the expense of the town. And it's really a great opportunity to do it now and to have funds to go into the foreseeable future to continue to generate ideas for the town's benefit. So that's the information we have for you. Hopefully this was informative. And if you have any questions, you can always come to the Town Select Board and ask your question. Thanks very much for your attention.
Thank you.